Hello everybody, it's your Peacekeeper coming at you with another epic battle video. In this video, we will show you the power of the Battleship Hindenburg. Now if you've never played the German cruiser line, it is by and large one of the, I'm going to call it the most troll-worthy classes or lines of cruisers in the game. And the reason for that is quite simple. There isn't a single battleship in this game that gives you the respect that you deserve. And because you're an AP-centric line, if they're broadside to you, you do a metric crap ton of damage. Now the Battleship Hindenburg is called as such because on Tier 9 and Tier 10 battleships, it will do, in a normal salvo, if broadside, between 7 and 15,000 damage. And it will do it so consistently that you can actually out-damage a battleship in that fight because your reload on your main guns is so dang short. In this battle, we're gonna see that. I mean, like, through and through going to see that. We see it from the beginning all the way until the very, very end. Now, I want to apologize if you're one of those people that gets motion sickness. This first section might be a little hectic here as I check my gun angles. It's been a while since I brought the Battleship Hindenburg out. Wanted to go ahead and make sure I knew just how much angle I had available to me, and of course that involves zooming in and out frequently. So I apologize in advance for that. Now we're going to go head over towards C, mostly because playing around at A is never any fun. I am divisioned up with Land Warrior and Cole 1097, and Cole is in a Montana, and Land Warrior is in an Iowa. First customer of the day, a Bismarck. We also have a Zau over here. I'd rather kill the Zau. I'm less worried about the Bismarck. Like most German battleships, it seems to take a lot of white damage, so I'm even less concerned about it than I am the Zau. Now, the Zau has the ability to fire its guns from near complete stealth, where it'll just either bounce in and out or not. Amagi, I see your 8k AP damage on my nearly broadside. Hindenburg, I raise you to 8,700 damage on your not broadside. Amagi. Now we're going to come over here, we're going to focus on this Iowa. Mostly because the Iowa is mostly broadside to us, and we can, utilize that to our advantage. Of course, being as that we are sailing broadside to a battleship, we definitely don't want to do that, so we're going to continue to turn out. And there's 9,700 damage. Yeah. Now the key to playing these cruisers, and really a lot of the German cruiser line, especially the upper tiers, the Hipper, the Rune, and the Hindenburg all play very similarly, is like playing them like a battleship with absolutely no armor. And by that, they have a lot of armor, don't get me wrong. These things will bounce cruiser AP all day long, and if you're bow in, will bounce battleship AP relatively easily. However, what I mean by that is basically if there is a broadside target to you, shoot at it. Your gun turret traverse is fast enough to where you can do that without too many issues. Your AP penetration will do a lot of damage to those targets, so there's absolutely no reason not to punish them. Also, if you're facing off against other Hindenburgs, it's probably a good idea not to be broadside to them. Yeah, I fired that shot and I realized very early that that was going to all miss, so, well, it would have been great had that hit. It would have given a pretty big damage roll, and this is the damage roll that I'm talking about. 14,000 damage with AP from a cruiser on another cruiser without a citadel. 9,600 damage on a broadside cruiser with no citadels. This is the damage level and damage rate. There's 4K, there's another 6K. This is the type of damage that just makes this ship earn its title of Battleship Hindenburg. And of course, once you learn your guns, you can kind of learn what you can and can't shoot over in spite of the stupid little indicator. There's another 7K taken off of his health. Now you see that I'm bowing in and I'm bowing out. That way I can bring my rear guns into play. You definitely, in these kinds of fights with how close you are, you want to keep angling in, but you don't want, and you don't need, because you've got pretty good armor, you don't need to angle in at some drastic angle where you're closing the distance real heavily. And kill stolen. Thank you, Land Warrior. Alright, let's repair up as soon as that gets up. Throw up our scout plane, and by scout plane I mean our fighter plane, which is a better scout plane than anything else is. I don't see any other ships around aside from this Iowa, and, well, my experience with him earlier is that he's going to sail nearly broadside to me, almost indefinitely. Oh, he shot at me, so let's turn the other way. Yeah. Miss me! And let's return. So this is going to be a front gun only salvo. And you'll see that we're 5 minutes into this game, a little over now, and we've done 76,000 damage. Also, one thing to not forget is that the Battleship Hindenburg does have torpedoes, much like its Tier 7. Well, I guess it's really the only battleship in the German battleship line that has torpedoes, is the Gneisenau. The Tirpitz has torpedoes at Tier 8, but you do have torpedoes. Don't forget to use them. In this case, I'm using them to shut down this little inlet here between D and C because there's two underage children. I mean, there's two destroyers over there, and I definitely don't want one of them coming and showing up and possibly launching torpedoes. The one problem that the Hindenburg does have is it's not a really mobile ship. It's mobile enough. It's certainly not like it's awful, but look at where I'm aiming at on the Montana to see these damage rolls. So there's 8,200. You'll see that I'm aiming basically at the top of the deck. The goal is to get all of those AP shells to hit in the upper belt and the superstructure. When you do it right, what'll happen is it will impact the base of the superstructure, and rather than getting overpens, like you sometimes will, you will actually get, and here I am going broadside after he fired those shells. Oof! Luck. That is luck. We're going to go ahead and tactically beach ourselves. That was me not paying attention. But there you can see, I'm trying to get those shells to impact so that they hit that superstructure. Now, on cruisers, you definitely want to go back to aiming at the waterline, and there's 11,000 damage, Mr. Ibuki, and one citadel. The only citadel of this game, unfortunately. We're going to sit here and we're going to keep capping C so that we can get C capped. I'm going to continue to shut this channel down with torpedoes because I have no idea where their destroyers are at. There's the Iowa that I just saw. Alright, so the Ibuki is coming around the back side of this. I'm going to stick in C. We're just going to sit here and, you know, run around in circles for a bit. We got enough things to worry about. I'd rather cap C and get C so that we can get the points. At least even out our points loss. Let's launch torps at the end of this here in case that Ibuki comes around the corner. And we're going to shut down this channel as well to make sure that that Iowa doesn't come through. I was pretty worried about the Iowa, but, well, we're going to, yeah, well, is he coming our way? No, he's not coming our way. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to add to his misery and continue to punish him as we have done before. And 2,500 damage, you know. In terms of battleships, well, if you're playing the Scharnhorst, that might be a normal damage roll, but in terms of, you know, like, for instance, Land Warriors Iowa, not so much. Of course, somebody kills the Iowa, so That means we've got an Ibuki, a Tirpitz, and a Montana left for big juicy targets, a Fletcher and a Kagero left over for the destroyers. Also, the Ibuki and I think the Zhao is all the way over on the other side. There's another battleship in there. I think it's the Amagi still. And Ibuki tactically beaches himself right now. And well, if you're going to tactically beach yourself, I recommend not doing it broadside to an Iowa. I also recommend not doing it broadside to a Montana, because incoming! You're dead. And there's Cole stealing it from all the way back on the D line. Okay, so there's Fletcher, Tirpitz, and Montana. Those guys are all in range, however there's a giant mountain. There's Land Warrior tactically beaching himself to avoid torpedoes. If you're going to tactically beach yourself to avoid being torpedoed, make sure you do it after they launch them. That way they don't launch them into your beached self. That's not tactical beaching at that point. Alright, so we're going to come back over here and we're going to help Cole. There is 2 destroyers over here. Like I said, the Fletcher and the Kagero. We have a Tirpitz and another Montana. And you can see he's taking damage. Cole is taking damage. And we need to help him out soon, or we're going to lose him. There's our Fletcher. Let's see if I can't bring those guns to bear and get a good salvo off on him. Nah. Maybe. No. So Fletcher's going to turn away. Cole eats another torpedo or 2. And this fight is starting to get real ugly. So Cole takes a big chunk out of the Tirpitz. That's good. We add to it. And as with all the other ships, all the other battleships that I've been shooting at, you really want those shells to impact in that superstructure area. Now here I'm contemplating the Tirpitz, although I do see that Montana at 6.4. In hindsight, I probably could have launched those torps at the Montana now, but well, we're getting a little tunnel visioned here, so we'll just go ahead and shoot at the Tirpitz here, and well, Battleship Hindenburg finishes him off. Montana is coming around now. Which way do I want to torp? Well, he's coming around, and this is... Uh-oh, Cole just died. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. Let's tactically beach. It's going to be the only way. There can be only one. Surprise! And battleship levels of AP damage. 11,000 in one AP hit, and we are going to get plenty of hits for torpedoes. Blind shot at the Kagero, way off. Way off. Mostly because he disappeared. But as you can see, we managed to stick it out. The only reason that worked is because of the fact that he was gun-focused on the Montana and was not anticipating Battleship Hindenburg launching torpedoes at him. Or if he was, it was way too late. That must have been our Zhao. I remember when I played this, I was very, very, very confused as to what this guy was getting at. And then I remember we had a Zhao on our team and they had a Zhao on their team. Of course, we have to throw in the Battleship Hindenburg as torps. It's a cruiser! Get out of here! It's actually a battleship disguised as a cruiser. Welcome to the German cruiser line after about Tier 7. Pocket battleship? Yeah, I'd believe that. And here we are, 153,000 damage. 3 torpedo hits, 195 gun hits. Heck, our secondaries even got into this fight, as drunk as those guys are. They managed to hit 24 hits. 1 Citadel, 1 solo base cap, 1 fire, which was from the secondaries, 2 sinks, 1 flood, and 1 incapacitation. I don't remember what the incapacitation was from. It was probably like torpedo tubes or something on the Hindenburg that I was shooting at. Of course, probably shouldn't type and drive, you know, while torpedoes are inbound. We are very fortunate that that didn't end up being far worse than it could have been. This battle is going to end on points. Unfortunately, we don't get to kill the Fletcher. We do win, obviously. That's perfectly fine. Now, I really do enjoy this ship, and really look forward to doing the German cruiser line when we get there for the How to Play series. But the next one will be the battleships, which I have not started on yet. 534,410 credits, 6,220 XP, some free XP as well. All this is because this was win of day, as well as having a bunch of flags on it. Also, my commander had the dragon flag on it, so 333% XP. 2,460 base XP. You can see that solo cap really pushed us all the way up there compared to the Montana. There's my damage doled out. You can see that our secondaries fired 430 shells and only hit... No, 90 shells and only hit 24 times for 430 damage. Big contribution, guys. 10 out of 10 would recommend. And yes, it was a Hindenburg. For some odd reason, I thought it was a Nuremberg. I think it's the Berg part that got me all confused. Yep, definitely a Hindenburg. And the credits. And there's a breakdown of all the credits. You can see 20,538 Commander XP with that flag. Anyway, this has been Battleship Hindenburg, an epic battle with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. As with always, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I gotta ask, do you guys prefer the voiceover for these battles like I'm currently doing with this one? Or do you much prefer kind of the battle montage style of videos where we have all the supercuts of all the big hits and all that stuff? Let me know down in the comments. If you guys like this method, I'll go ahead and keep doing it. If you'd like to see the battle montage type stuff, I will certainly try and do my best. Anyway, thanks guys for watching.